everyone. Hope you are enjoying your online classes. Today we are going to discuss the activities given after the second chapter, the snake and the mirror. The activities start on page 28. Let's first look at the activity number 1. In this activity, you are asked to pick out or select sentences from the story that tell about the condition of the young homeo doctor. The activity column is divided in two under two separate headings. The first one is about the impact created upon the narrator while he came across or came face to face a full-blooded cobra in his rented house. The other one is about how, while looking into the mirror in front, the homeo doctor evaluated his youthful handsomeness. Now let us look into the activity in detail. Let's pick out the sentences from the story that tell about how he was afraid, the narrator was afraid of the unexpected presence of the cobra in his room. We shall allow the narrator, the homeo doctor, to speak for himself in the first person narrative under the heading "Was Afraid of the Snake." He says, "I was turned to a stone while he looked at the cobra. I sat there holding my breath. I wished to write the words 'Oh God' in golden letters in his heart. I was like an image cut in granite. I felt the presence of the Creator, the presence of God Almighty there." Now let us move on to the next column, where we find the heading "Was proud of himself." Let us find out the sentences from the story that tell how proud he was of himself. Let him say for himself, "I looked into the mirror and smiled. It was an attractive smile. I was a bachelor and a doctor too." Now he takes some earth-taking decisions. "I would shave daily. I would grow a thin mustache to look more handsome. I would keep a smile on my face to look more attractive and more handsome." Now to the second activity. We know the story, "The Snake and the Mirror," is about a frightening incident which is narrated in a humorous way. There is humor in the story to laugh at many things. especially the condition of the homeo doctor. Sometimes we sympathize with him. The story teems with certain contrasts or strikingly different notions or ideas. Let us discuss some contrasts in the story. The kind of a person the doctor was in reality, and the kind of a person he wanted to be, gives prospect of some contrast. The real doctor, he was a young man who lived in a rented house. His income was meager, and there is humor when we find him living with rats, sharing his room with rats. At the same time, in his imagination, in his dreams, sometimes he becomes dreamy whenever he is in front of the mirror, looking at his own image in the mirror. He says he would shave daily, he would grow a thin mustache in order to look more attractive and handsome, and he is to have a smile on his face forever and ever. Another thing is the person he wished to marry and the woman he really married in his life. The woman of his imagination was a rich doctor, preferably fat, for some valid reason. But the person he really married, the woman he really married, was a thin, reedy one, a lean woman who could run like a sprinter. Now, about his thoughts when he looked into the mirror, grooming himself with a comb in his hand. He did everything to look more attractive and handsome. He says, I am after all a bachelor and a doctor too. When he was in front of the mirror, he was full of praise for himself. He says, I'm handsome, I'm young, I'm a bachelor, I'm a doctor. And he says he is to take some earth-shaking decisions, such as growing a thin mustache on his face, shaving daily, keeping an attractive smile forever in order to look more handsome. But the same person cuts a sorry figure when the snake coils around his arm. We feel sorry for him. We feel sympathy for the doctor when we find him in such a dilemma. So when the snake coils around his arm, he is calling God. For the first time in his life, he feels the presence of the Almighty, the Creator. We find a helpless person in him. He is sitting like a stone image. So these are the contrasts which give a tinge of humor to the story.